Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we cut through the noise and zero in on the most important insights behind the headlines. Today, we're plunging into what many are calling, well, a real shockwave in the tech world, Palantir Technologies, ticker PLTR. And specifically, their remarkable Q2 2025 earnings report. The buzz around their AI dominance is definitely loud right now.
Yeah, and it's more than just numbers on a page, isn't it? These results, they really tell a story. It's about this accelerated adoption pace, showing how Palantir's artificial intelligence platform, AIP, is, rapidly becoming core for companies and delivering really significant real-world impact across so many different sectors.
Exactly. So our mission for this deep dive is pretty clear. Unpack those core financials driving this narrative, understand what's really behind this explosive growth, look at the practical AI applications that bring it all to life, and then, look ahead. What's the future hold for Palantir? We're drawing directly from their investor reports and the latest market chat. So let's get started.
Okay, after a quarter like that, the numbers really do speak volumes. Let's dissect the anatomy of this growth a bit, starting with the big ones, the headlines. Palantir just smashed through its first ever $1 billion quarterly revenue, $1.004 billion.
Yeah.
That's an impressive 48% year-over-year growth and a solid 14% just quarter-over-quarter.
And what's really fascinating here, it's not just that top-line number, impressive as it is, it's the profitability that goes with it. They reported GAAP net income of $327 million. That's a healthy 33% margin.
Right.
And this makes it their fourth straight quarter of GAAP profitability. That signals real consistency. They're not just growing, they're doing it profitably.
Their GAAP earnings per share, EPS, they came in at $0.13. And the adjusted EPS hit $0.16. So comfortably beating expectations there.
And that consistent profitability, it really ties into another metric that jumped out, the Rule of 40. Palantir scored a huge 94%. For listeners who might be less familiar, what does a number like that really signal about the company's health?
Well, the Rule of 40 is a really key benchmark, especially for software companies. It combines revenue growth rate and adjusted operating margin. And getting a 94%, that's not just good. It indicates really exceptional performance.
Yeah.
Way beyond what most companies achieve, especially at this scale.
Yeah.
Their CEO, Alex Karp, he actually described it as obliterating the metric.
Strong words.
It's not just a number, though. It paints this picture of a company hitting hypergrowth, but also maintaining serious profitability. It says a lot about how efficient their AIP rollout is, how sticky their customer model is, and frankly, their operational discipline. You compare Palantir to other big enterprise software players, over $1 billion in trailing revenue, or even the top 25 global companies by market cap. That 94% score really stands out. It's a significant competitive achievement.
Okay, so with numbers like these, where's all this growth actually coming from? The sources point to some incredibly dynamic areas.
Absolutely. The U.S. business is, it's clearly a major engine right now. Total U.S. revenue grew a remarkable 68% year over year.
68%.
Yeah, and 17% quarter over quarter, hitting $733 million. But the real story inside that number is the U.S. commercial revenue. That surged an absolutely astonishing 93% year over year.
Wow, nearly doubled.
And 20% quarter over quarter to $306 million. This surge, they're directly attributing it to astonishing adoption of their AI platform, AIP. It really points to a big shift in how commercial businesses are jumping on their AI solutions.
So it's clear the commercial side is booming. But, historically, Palantir's roots are deep in government work. Are we seeing similar strength there? What about those strategic deals?
We are, definitely. U.S. government revenue also grew strongly, 53% year over year and 14% quarter over quarter, reaching $426 million. And we're seeing signs of these continued strategic long-term plays, too. Like the U.S. Army signaling intent for that huge 10-year, $10 billion Titan deal.
$10 billion.
Yeah, and the aim there is to consolidate something like 75 prior contracts. It just shows Palantir's ongoing critical role in defense and security, and maybe a trend towards bigger, more consolidated contracts.
Makes sense. Beyond just growing existing streams, how aggressively are they actually expanding their client list and securing future revenue? What do the new deals tell us?
They closed a really remarkable number of deals, 157 deals worth at least $1 million.
Okay.
And get this, 66 of those were $5 million or more, and 42 deals actually topped $10 million each.
So significant commitments.
Exactly. And their total contract value, TCV, hit a record $2.27 billion. That's up 140% year over year. Just the U.S. commercial TCV alone was a record $843 million, a 222% jump year over year. That really speaks to the sheer volume of new commercial business flooding in.
Right.
And it's not just about the initial deals. The U.S. commercial remaining deal value, RDV, that also saw a huge jump, 145% year over year to $2.79 billion. So these metrics, they signal really strong forward-looking commitments from their clients. Across the board, customer count grew 43% year over year to 4 over quarter. U.S. commercial customer count specifically grew 64% year over year to 485. It just paints this picture of aggressive, successful new client wins alongside growing the business they already have.
These financial results are certainly powerful, but for a lot of people, the real fascination is how Palantir's AI actually, translates into tangible results. What are some of the most striking real-world examples you found in the sources?
Yeah, this is where the rubber really meets the road, isn't it? How is this AI actually used? Take healthcare. Teletracking is using Palantir's AIP for this next-gen hospital solution. It optimizes staffing, speeds up decisions, keeps the patient at the center, and the impact is, well, staggering. They even talk about a Palantir unit of time.
A Palantir unit of time. What does that mean exactly?
It's not just a catchy phrase. It highlights this unique ability Palantir seems to have to quickly pull together all sorts of different data, apply AI, and generate usable insights in under an hour.
Under an hour.
Yeah, stuff that often took weeks or even months with older systems. It's about collapsing those decision cycles, moving from bureaucratic slowness to almost real-time agility. And they cite specific results. A 2,000% increase in using the discharge lounge, a 99% approval rate for AI-driven paperwork generation, and saving over 3,000 minutes less error per week in predicting case lengths. It's a total operational shift happening incredibly fast.
That's a massive leap in efficiency. What about other critical areas? Finance, maybe?
Sure. In finance, Fannie Mae is using AIP to speed up mortgage fraud detection, taking it from months down to mere seconds.
Oh, this is just seconds.
Yeah. Their president and CEO, Priscilla Almodovar, she highlighted how vital this partnership is for fighting fraud and protecting the whole U.S. mortgage market. I mean, just imagine the productivity boost, the risk reduction, when something taking months now happens almost instantly.
Incredible.
And we also see Lando Frost, the food company. They're using AIP to completely change how they do production planning. They cut the time needed for schedules from 40 hours down to just 30 minutes.
40 hours to 30 minutes, that's huge operational agility.
Absolutely monumental.
And what about government uses beyond the defense sphere?
Well, the U.S. Department of State is using Palantir to help protect America's diplomats, specifically cutting the time it takes to clear candidates for the Foreign Service from 60 days down to just 12.
Big difference there, too.
Definitely. And in financial services more broadly, there's a partnership with TWG Global aiming to really revolutionize AI adoption, help banks navigate today's complex global market. It just shows how adaptable their tech is across all these critical public and private sector functions, from national security to, complex finance.
And it seems it's not just about deploying the tools they have now. They're innovating pretty rapidly, too. What new AIP features did they unveil recently? How do those amplify things?
That's a really crucial point. At the recent DEF CON 3 event, they rolled out several key innovations. One is called AI FDE. It basically helps boost development work by using AI labor, as they put it, to create functions, edit ontologies, even build whole applications.
Just like an AI assistant for developers?
Kind of like an intelligent co-pilot, yeah.
Yeah.
Automating the really tedious parts of coding, letting developers build things much faster and more efficiently. They also showed off AI Workbench. That's for developing, debugging, monitoring automation workflows, all using an AI-driven approach, streamlining that whole dev life cycle.
Oh, okay.
And then there's ontology as code. Now, in Palantir's world, the ontology is basically this living digital twin of an organization. It maps all its data, its operations, relationships.
Right, the core brain.
Exactly. And ontology as code lets developers manage this complex digital twin using standard coding practices, right in their favorite IDEs, their usual tools. It makes it much easier and faster to customize Palantir's core intelligence and integrate it with other systems.
Okay, this kind of aggressive expansion, this rapid adoption, it obviously needs a really strong financial base. What's Palantir's balance sheet look like? How does it position them going forward?
Yeah, they ended Q2 2025 looking very, very solid financially. $6.0 billion in cash, cash equivalents, and U.S. Treasury securities.
$6 billion.
And notably, zero debt.
No debt at all?
None. This incredibly strong cash position, combined with no debt, it positions them really powerfully. They can keep investing aggressively in AIP in the U.S. market, while also driving operating leverage at scale. It just gives them immense financial flexibility for whatever comes next. Growth, strategic moves, you name it.
And what does that strong position mean for their outlook? What are they actually projecting for Q3 and the full year now?
Well, for Q3 2025, they're expecting revenue between $1.083 billion and $1.087 billion.
Okay.
Adjusted income from operations between $493 million and $497 million for the quarter.
Okay.
And looking at the full year 2025, they've significantly boosted their revenue guidance, now expecting between $4.142 billion and $4.152 billion. That implies a pretty hefty 45% year-over-year growth for the full year.
45%. Still very strong.
Very strong. And they're projecting U.S. commercial revenue specifically to blow past $1.302 billion. That's a growth rate of at least 85%.
85% growth in U.S. commercial.
Wow. Yeah, that's where that astonishing adoption really shows it on the forecast. They also raised guidance for adjusted income from operations, now $1.914 to $1.920 billion for the year. And adjusted free cash flow guidance raised, too, between $1.8 billion and $2.0 billion.
Yeah.
Crucially, they still expect GAAP operating income and net income in every quarter this year. Underscores that commitment to profit alongside the hypergrowth.
Right.
Oh, and their net dollar retention was 128% in Q2, which, indicates really strong customer loyalty and that they're successfully expanding within their existing clients, too.
Okay, so given these really impressive numbers and CEO Alex Karp's, let's say, big predictions, how is the market actually digesting all this? What's the conversation around Palantir's valuation these days?
Well, we've seen largely positive reactions from analysts, as you might expect. Wedbush, for instance, they raised their price target quite significantly, up to $160. They even suggested Palantir could potentially become the next Oracle in the AI revolution. They specifically think the market is seriously underestimating the commercial AIP revenue potential. They're projecting over $1 billion just from that segment in the next few years. And Karp himself, he's expressed really strong confidence, hasn't he? Saying they continue to see the astonishing impact of AI leverage. And he's been, well, pretty vocal about their AI ambitions, even taking a bit of a victory lap over past critics, it seems.
But it's rarely just unanimous praise in the market, is it? Where are the counterarguments? What are the concerns about that current valuation?
No, you're right. And this raises that important question of perspective, right? How different investors weigh rapid growth against current financials. Some market commentators definitely point to what they see as incredibly high valuation metrics, like a reported 700 PE ratio, or maybe a 95x forward price to sales.
Yeah, those are big numbers.
They are. And terms like meme territory or leveraged meme get thrown around, basically suggesting the price might be fueled more by hype or speculation than fundamentals right now.
Yeah.
They often compare it to other tech giants, maybe NVIDIA, and question if any growth rate can really sustain these kinds of elevated valuations long term, pointing out that even with $1 billion in quarterly revenue, the market cap is, well, very large.
So clear divide then. On one side, you've got these valuation concerns, maybe meme stock worries, but on the other, strong arguments that maybe the market's missing the bigger picture.
Precisely. Others argue Palantir is simply priced for growth. Some are even calling it potentially a new Tesla. They highlight its software being super sticky, maybe having no direct true competition, especially given how deeply embedded it is with government contracts.
Right, that government moat.
Exactly. They believe that with this continued explosive growth, especially in U.S. commercial, driven by AIP, well, the valuation could eventually make sense as earnings catch up to that market cap. It's definitely a company that sparks strong opposing views on its future path and, frankly, the wider implications of its technology. You even see commentators discussing its complex role in, state operations, private sector surveillance, those kinds of things.
Okay.
And it's worth noting, people also mention geopolitical risks tied to those big defense contracts and potential competition from open source AI alternatives. Those are factors in the broader discussion, too, showing the complex world it operates in.
So we've taken quite a deep dive into Palantir's Q2 2025, from smashing that $1 billion revenue mark to, well, astonishing AI platform adoption across diverse sectors. The numbers certainly tell a story of really rapid growth and expanding influence. Feels like that shockwave narrative isn't totally off base.
Indeed. That exceptional focus on U.S. commercial growth, the ongoing strength in strategic government deals, and the really significant advances in their AI platform, it all highlights a company that's not just growing its bank account, but deeply weaving its tech into critical operations across industries.
What really stands out to you from this deep dive? For us, it seems clear Palantir is leveraging AI in ways that are fundamentally changing how organizations work. But it also brings up a bigger question, maybe for all of us listening. As AI keeps accelerating everything, business, government, How will this idea of a Palantir unit of time driving huge value in under an hour, how will that redefine our expectations, for efficiency, for agility, for innovation, across basically every part of our lives? Something to think about.